Many of us went to school many years back, wherever it is that you went to school, and there was one message that was injected in us. And that message was injected very well for decades. And that was the message of studying very hard, so that at the end of the day we will get very good jobs. But nobody remembered to answer the question, where will the jobs be coming from? And the pumping continued to happen in us until we got to a point where we were fully radicalized into believing that upon leaving school, there was only one path, the path of getting a good job. The end result, we got into a season where we found ourselves having a stranded, educated population. We found ourselves at a place where we had majority of the people who could not be able to think beyond a job. That when they were searching for a job and a job could not come when they wanted, they were stranded. They didn't know where to go or how to go about it. We lived to believe that business was not for everyone. We lived to believe that business was only for a few chosen. We lived to believe that there was a certain family blood that dictated that only those who possessed that blood could do business. Of course, now I have grown big enough to acknowledge that any one of us can be a business person. We can all learn and do business. I am one of those who came from a background where nobody did business where I come from. I'm one of those who believe that business belonged to a certain group of people. But the day I chose to believe in business, the day I wanted to commercialize this gift, the day I went back to school to study entrepreneurship, is the day I realized any one of us can learn and do business. And even some of us who are doing business, because of that injection, we still don't think we are doing the right thing. Now, for those of us who left school expecting to be employed and to get that big job that was promised to us, many of us were expecting to be employed either by government or by big corporations. A lot of times when we are pushing the government to create jobs, many of us are expecting that the government will wake up and usher us into these big corporations and give us those jobs. It will interest you, brothers and sisters, to know that for many years in this country, the business community that we are celebrating today, the micro, the small, the medium enterprises in our midst, contribute to more than 80% of total employment for very many years. That is not the story of Kenya. That is the story of the entire Africa, the entire globe, including the US. I was studying the new jobs created in the US last year, and 55% of them were created by the business community. Let me come back home. The current environment in Kenya looks like this. Based on the latest, the 2025 economic survey, total employment stands at 20.8 million, excluding the rural small-scale farmers, 20.8 million. Out of this, the business community, the micro, small, and medium enterprises right now account for 83.5%. That means the government and the big corporations that your children, that many of us expect after school we will be ushered into, can only and have only been able to provide 3.4 million out of 20.8 million jobs. Who has provided the remaining 17.4? This business community that we are celebrating today. I felt it's important I make this landscape clear for us so that we can begin to look at business differently. We must begin to celebrate and encourage entrepreneurial activities, brothers and sisters. We must stop looking at business as an inferior income option. We must begin to celebrate it for the gem that it is. Think about your life for a moment and imagine what would happen to your own life if all businesses were to close. Just think about it. I must remind us today that business is not something for failures. That business is not a by the way thing. That business is not reserved for strugglers, for those who are confused, for those who cannot get a job. I must remind us that business is what sustains the global economy. Business is for those who seek to solve societal problems. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. All these men and women who stood here, they're doing one thing. They're solving problems that this society is facing. Brothers and sisters, I'll not be very wrong if I say that we are what we are because of business.